My name is Lassard. I'm a partner at Made Lab, and I'm going to walk you through some fabric testing with a screen print discharge test.
As garment manufacturers evolved and as screen printers and decorators have evolved, the technologies also evolved with them. Made Lab was really started to help test those garments to make sure that manufacturers are making the best quality garment, but also then to train decorators on how to decorate those garments in the best possible way.
The difficulty with discharge printing is it starts with the garment. Not all garments discharge, and it's important because we want to provide as much information as possible to the end user, which would be a screen printer in this case, the ability to buy shirts they know are going to discharge well rather than taking a gamble and being disappointed with the result. Step one for the screen print discharge test is to create artwork that we're going to use for the print. For the design, we want something big and bold, so we want to use a large open area so we get a good visual for how well the fabric discharges. So step two, we'll be making a screen for the screen print test. Because we're using water-based ink, we need to coat the screen with a water-resistant emulsion. We let it dry for a couple of hours in a drying closet, and then we're going to expose it. And when it's exposed to light, it hardens the emulsion. So anywhere that your image is going to be solid black, and that area will not expose and will rinse out after. And once the screen is rinsed and the unexposed areas of the screen of the emulsion are rinsed out, we'll dry the screen for approximately 20 minutes and then we'll be ready to print. And the next step is mixing the ink for the discharge print. So for this test we're using a discharge clear base. Printed by itself is going to be clear, nothing added to it, or we could add pigment to color the ink. But for this test we want a clear ink. This is mixed with the discharge agent, which is zinc formaldehyde sulfoxylate. It's going to give the ink the ability to destroy the dye of the shirt, and it will no longer be able to reflect light, so you'll see the shirt color before it was dyed, if it discharges well. The next step is to set up the press with the screen for the printing. So we take our screen and put it on the automatic press and add our squeegee and flood bar. Once the squeegee and flood bar are in, we add the ink and set it up to print. We load the fabric onto the press and screen print it with the discharge ink. The next step is to cure the ink. And this is a very important step because the discharge reacts at around boiling point. So this is going to cure the ink and activate the discharge process. So the next step, we're going to evaluate how well the fabric discharged. So to evaluate, we always use a light box. This allows us to look under the same light source every time we view fabric. And to grade this fabric, we're going to be using the AATCC staining scale. This is used for crock, a lot of different tests, but for this one we can see how bright the fabric is. So normally you would think a tri-blend would not discharge, but this is why we test. Now, sending this information to the garment manufacturer, they could say that, yeah, this is a tri-blend and it discharges, and that's a great selling point for this fabric.